What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. Syrup season is about to get rolling, and I am really excited. You can see behind me here, have started to get a couple of taps in up here around the house. I got a couple big silvers and a couple big sugar maples that are right up here around the house. But gonna head out today and try to get the rest of my tapping done out in the trees, back in the woods. So I've got about, I think it's about 23, 24 more trees I'd like to get tapped today, and that's going to be a little bit under 50 taps. Just about every one of those trees is going to be able to take 2 taps, and a couple of them are even big enough that they'll take 3 taps. So gonna get a bunch of buckets and new lines prepped and get them loaded up on the sap sled, and we're gonna head back into the woods and get some trees tapped. So just to show you guys real quick what I'm working with, this is 5/16 sap line, and then these are the 5/16 spiles, taps that will go in the tree. So I've got my 5/16 drill bit that I used some electrical tape to mark where 1.5 inches was, because that's about how deep I want to go into the tree. And that's what the whole size I need for my spile. So the 5/16 is an OD, that's an outside dimension for the spile, and then that's the inside dimension of our 5/16 tap line focus. So that's the inside measurement, the ID for the tap line. And then to figure out what size drill bit I needed for my buckets, because I like to run my lines in on the side of my buckets, so there's kind of this little drip edge that the line can hide underneath. And I did them before. I've done them in the top, in the lid, and I felt like I got water inside the bucket. So I like to do it underneath that little drip edge. So I took my little drill bit gauge and I slid it into the end here, and that is what told me it was 27/64. Sorry. 27/64. So that's the size drill bit I'm using in the side of my buckets to make sure that I'm snug and got a good, well, somewhat of a good seal in the side of the bucket. And then as a little bit of an experiment, I'm trying something different this year, just in a couple of places. I got these sap sacks that I'm gonna give a try. These are like a 4-gallon capacity. And what I'm gonna do, or what I did, is I cut these pieces of PVC pipe and I put the hole in it, thinking that I'll be able to just come up to the tree. I'll put the spile, put the tap in the tree, and just hang it using that hole, hang it right on the spile. And then I'll just be able to when I'm coming around with my buckets, just be able to dump the bag out into the bucket. I'm thinking these might be convenient for some of the, a little bit more difficult to get to trees, some of like the more, the trees that are on steeper hillsides and stuff, where setting a bucket there next to the tree is a little bit more difficult. But didn't want to go all in, not knowing how well these were going to work. So I got 10 of them. I actually only have plans to put out about 4 or 5 of them today, but I'm going to give them a try and see how they work. So I will definitely let you guys know, I'm sure, at some point, if not a couple of times, over the next few weeks as I do some more syrup videos and syrup vlogs. I'll let you guys know what I think of the sap sacks. Today is also going to be the maiden voyage for the sap sled, the syrup sleigh. I don't know working titles at this point, but this is my little trailer for my quad. It's a dual axle trailer because 4-wheelers are not designed to handle much tongue weight. So this is a specific trailer designed for a 4-wheeler. That's why it's got the double axle going on. So I got my lids, got my bucket with my drill bits, got some gloves, a couple extra taps, drill bits, I think I said that already, and my little hammer for tapping the taps in. Bringing some extra hose back just in case I need a longer piece anywhere. Don't think I'll need it, but I think I'm all prepped. My buckets with the holes drilled in the side that are prepped for the tubes. And then my sap sacks and my hoses, my lines with the spiles already in them. So they're all prepped and ready to go also. So we're gonna head back into the sugar bush and get some more of these trees tapped. So I've already got a couple of them done back here, but I have this nice grove of big mature maples right here. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of them that are all big mature ones. These other ones that I have tapped already, I had noticed those when the leaves and all the foliage was still out, but didn't notice these ones that were a little bit further back off of the trail until actually the day I was back here and I tapped these other 2 that I have here. So yeah, let's get some spiles put in. So since I have everything all pre-cut, all my holes drilled, just come in and slip in my sap line. Come on. Nice snug fit. Then I can just stretch the line around to find where I want to put it. This is south. You know, want some sun exposure. There's all sorts of different schools of thought on that, whether you need southern exposure, whether you don't. I'll talk about some good resources for that here in a minute. Place 1. Place the other. And when you're tapping it in, this is what you always hear everybody talk about in all their videos, so I got to make sure I talk about it. Listen for the sound change. Here, it doesn't sound hollow. That means you're in far enough. As soon as that sound changes, that's when you stop tapping. Hear it? And this is a new area I'm tapping this year. I'm really excited for. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that's the one I started with. 8 big old mature maples. All of them are tall. All of them are thick. All of them are healthy. So I think that this is going to be a real good little bang for my buck area with these 8 that are right here in close proximity to each other. And it gets relatively good sun exposure in here as well. So I think this is going to be a really productive area for me this year. But we'll find out. Hoping. And it may be barely above freezing today. But we are getting a little bit of run, a little bit of flow. Well, I got a branch here that was low enough to reach. So I'll show you guys some easy ways to identify sugar maples specifically. These 2 branches here and here, how they're coming off of the main stem here, opposite of each other. That's one of the big characteristics you want to look for. So you see it's like that there, it's like that here, like that. Come on, focus. Like that there. And then the other thing is out at the end. Come on, focus for me. There we go. Out at the end, you can see the little, they look like sugar ice cream cones is what I always think. So sugar cone, come on, focus. Sugar cone, sugar maple. Real quick, show you guys these sap sacks. A couple hung up here, a couple hung up over here. So the spile just goes in the tree. See, this one's running pretty good already. And it just hooks right on. Collects down in the bag. Like I said, not sure if I'm going to like those, if they're going to be more convenient or anything, but give a few a try. We'll know here in a couple of weeks, that's for sure. And the time it took me to do, I don't know, 15 more taps. Flowing pretty good here. Now this is probably, well, this is definitely the best grove of maple trees that I have here on the farm. I mean, they are just all throughout this hillside, but unfortunately most of them would be pretty tough to get to. There's not like a good trail down the hill. There is a trail that runs down at the bottom of this ravine here, but there isn't one cut through here, and just logistically I didn't have the time to be able to get one cut in this year. But next year I have the thought that I am going to try to gravity feed down this hill. And I counted the other day, there's something somewhere upwards of 40 tappable maple trees right here in this little, I don't know, half acre little section, and it's all on this pretty steep hillside. The camera's not really doing much justice for how steep this is right here. So gravity would be on my side, but I want to come up with some kind of way to do a tank at the bottom and be able to just do the lines like the pros do. Vacuum, gravity. Well, guys, that is going to do it for me for the day. I got right at about 40 new taps put out today, and that should put me at just over 80 that I have out total, and my goal was to get to 100 this year. So today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, should be able to definitely get that that goal of 100 by the end of the weekend. So I'm pretty excited for that. It was supposed to be really, really cold this weekend, actually, and they kind of pushed that off into next week. So I'm really happy because I wasn't expecting to get any flow this weekend, and just about every tree that I tapped had a little bit of flow, and some actually had a lot of flow going, like you saw in that one sap sack. So if you guys had any questions about what I was working on today, why I did something or why I didn't do something, leave that down in the comments for me. I really appreciate when you guys interact in the comments with me. It's a whole lot of fun talking with you guys, answering questions, asking questions. It's probably my favorite part of doing this whole YouTube thing. So if you enjoyed the video, think about hitting thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Going to be a whole lot more syrup content coming out in these next few weeks. And until next time, y'all, we'll see you.